Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Scandal Season 7, Episode 8, and the name of this episode is Robin. I am so happy Scandal is back, and I was just so drawn, to this episode because we knew from the mid-season finale, or the winter finale, we saw that Papa Pope and Olivia were going back and forth, because pretty much Papa Pope had Quinn, and he was saying, give me my bones, or he was going to kill her. And we see that the two of them went back and forth, and pretty much, taking jabs, and she's pretty much saying that, look, okay, if you think, if anything, she is command. So she pretty much, made it known that, hey, if this, if killing Quinn is good for the Republic, do what you have to do. He literally goes in the room. You literally hear her scream, "Oh, please, please!" and shot her twice. Now, at first, we were kind of questioning: was Quinn really the victim, or better yet, was Papa Pope bluffing, or did he really kill Quinn? Because in the beginning of this episode, we see that he pretty much, there is a dead body, so he killed someone. And he literally, lights the car on fire, and the car blows up, and he reports he literally reports it to the police that there was a burning vehicle. They pretty much find out, so pretty much they actually see there was a dead body inside the car, and it's been confirmed that, yeah, Quinn's dead. And according to them, like, they as far as they know, because we knew that Quinn was pregnant, so obviously her and the baby were killed. And we literally see that, this has shaken up the whole crew of OPA. We literally see that, Charlie is just shaking, as well as Huck. And we see that Abby's hurt, and everybody, at that scene, and like Olivia is there with them, so they now know that Quinn is dead. And then we also see that President Millie shows up, and she offers her condolences to Charlie, and then she tells Olivia, because Olivia's like, I won't take too much time. I'll come back to work, and she says that no, you need to take time and be here with your family. She actually helped with my campaign, and I never forgot that. So we see that, Millie is definitely being very genuine after hearing about Quinn's death. But little does she know that Olivia was behind it. Even though Olivia didn't kill her, she did kind of gamble with her father, knowing that her father would have done it. And he went back and he shot her. And then came back, was like, you want to see the body? But we definitely know that this has affected Olivia in a very hard light because, she did care for Quinn. And I think what she was trying to do, even though she knew Quinn knew her information, her main objective was not to kill Quinn at all. But when it really came down to it, once Rowan, kidnapped her out of that elevator, it just went down a different road. Then we actually see that, we see Cyrus. Cyrus is happy because Glaxton, is supposed to be coming back, because I think he went to Montana. And he talks about, this dinner that he had with the Japanese embassy. He wants that chef the chef that made the meal, he wants that chef to do, to cook dinner for the two of them. Since he's just happy that his man coming home. But wait till you see, but trust me, things go completely left, and I'm going to get to that. Then we actually see that, Charlie is talking with, I think, like with Abby and David Rosen is there as well, and yeah, because I don't think Huck was there at that time. But then he talks about, they're talking about funeral arrangements and all that, and he was like, no, Quinn wouldn't want to go out like that, because they were actually at the funeral home. Well, actually, I remember now. They were at the funeral home. Olivia was there with him, and also Abby was there. Charlie was there, and they're talking about picking out a coffin or whatever. And eventually, Charlie was just like, man, this is BS. Nothing in here represents her. This is not who she is. She was a warrior, and she always talked about this story about this. Pretty much, it was a story about this warrior who died, and his ash, and like pretty much what happens is that the guy was cremated, and his ashes were put in bullets, and they shot out the bullets. As a pretty much as a in remembrance, in loving memory. So, Charlie was like, Quinn was a warrior, and she would want to go out like a warrior. All this casket, flower crap, that wasn't Quinn. Quinn was a die-hard warrior, and, this is a story that she loved. Like, this is a way she probably would have wanted to go out. That she gets cremated, and that her remains get put in bullets, and, if anything, there'll be a piece of her being shot somewhere. Being shot at someone. So, and then we also see in this scene that Charlie asks Olivia to do the eulogy, when yet Olivia was one of the reasons why Quinn is dead. Then we see that Olivia tells Huck, and Huck immediately knew that story. She's like, oh yeah, she loved that story, And then all of a sudden he asks us about this hairpin. Did you know about a hairpin? Because he says, I knew everything from top to bottom about her wedding and her details. That pin was never a part of it. You have any knowledge of it? And she said no. Then we see Cyrus then got the chef. Everything is all lit. He comes, Glaxon comes in, and he's so happy to see him, and he goes to give him a kiss. Glaxon paid him dust, told him, we're over. It's done. And literally just dumped Cyrus' ass. And I was like, damn. He went all out. Got the actual chef that prepared the meal when he had dinner with the Japanese embassy. He got that chef to come in and cook dinner for Glaxon to come in and say, we're over. It's done. And there's no explanation. He just said it's over, it's done, and he leaves. And Cyrus is just there like, what the fuck is this? So therefore, we see that Huck is still at the hospital with Quinn's charred remains, and pretty much he said that it was a beautiful wedding. You would have loved it. You would have loved it. And we see that this has, because we all knew that Huck was in love with Quinn. So this has hurt. This has hurt Huck deeply, and. And he pretty much says that he pretty much says that when I was in danger, you were willing to risked your life to save mine, and you made sure that the person that was behind trying to kill me got dealt with, and you pretty much avenged me, and I in turn will avenge you. I promise you. So I'm like, oh shit, he gonna get to the bottom of it. And I'm just thinking, oh shit, Liv, shit ain't looking good for you right now. Then we get a scene with Jake and Rowan. I'm sorry, not Jake and Rowan. Oh, actually, it is Jake and Rowan. I'm sorry, my bad. Forgive me. So we actually get a scene with Jake and Rowan. He finally got his bones back, and he's like, well, I hope you're proud of yourself. and he's like, excuse, and he's like, and he's kind of thrown off by by like the sarcasm that Jake is throwing. Like, like, I hope you're proud of yourself. Like, obviously a life was more. Well, obviously this bone's more important than a life, and like this is like, and then like they kind of go back and forth, and he lets him know that look, I didn't kill Quinn. Olivia did. Olivia tested me, and she gambled Quinn's life, and in turn, Quinn got killed. And he's like, but don't you feel any kind of remorse, man? That was her friend. She just lost her friend. And he's like, yeah, and I lost my daughter. And I knew that the woman I was talking to that day was not my child. So, at the end of the day, I lost my daughter. She lost her friend. There are no winners here. And I was like, damn. I mean, because, she could have just gave him back his bones, but he, being the kind of person he is, he was not gonna lay down, and he wasn't gonna take defeat. So he got Quinn because he wanted his bones back, but because Olivia wanted this power struggle between her and her father, and because she wasn't gonna back down, he killed Quinn. And now this is on Olivia's conscience, and we see throughout the whole episode, it's eating her up. So then we see Olivia's at home, and she gets a knock on the door, and it's Fitz. Fitz is there with a bottle of wine, and he's pretty much saying that, and then like Olivia just goes off. She's like, if you're like, she's like, right, like, why the hell are you here? I don't want to fucking see you. Like, you were supposed to leave, but I was trying to keep things together, but you came in and completely fucked up everything. Like, you literally came in here and just changed up everything. Then you went to damn Millie and started tattletelling like a little child, and then, she just pretty much says that, what, he's saying that, look, I'm just trying to be here as your friend, he had a bottle of wine, and he was, like, literally trying to be there to comfort her. But Olivia flipped the fuck out, even more so. Was like, you're not good enough to be my friend. I have good enough friends. And he was like, yeah, I can see that. Because she's literally there alone. And she just gets so pissed, she snatches the bottle of wine and shuts the door on him. Like, just took the bottle of wine and ends up drinking it out the bottle. I'm like, Olivia was just done. Then we get a scene with Jake and Silas. Silas is mad because he thinks that Jake is the reason why Gladstone broke up with him. And you know that Silas always has a bone to pick with Jake because Jake killed his husband James. So Silas is just thinking, like, because of his information revealing Gladstone's name, this is what angered Charlie, and Charlie, thinking he was behind Quinn's disappearance, he literally tortured him and started beating Gladstone with a bag of oranges. So he's thinking, because we saw, he had confronted Jake before, saying because of your information and because of your, because of you bringing up Gladstone's name, you got him assaulted and tortured for no reason, and he wasn't even behind any of it. It's just the guy that was on the plane just happened to work for him at one point. But Jake just shaded the fuck out of Cyrus, and he was like, look, I'm sorry that he broke up with you, but I can assure you it had nothing to do with that. Maybe he just had a different acquired taste. And I was just like, damn! Like, Jake is such a cold motherfucker, but I love me some Jake. But Jake just kind of let him know, like, shit, I ain't had nothing to do with that. Me putting him out there may have gotten him fucked up, but him breaking up with you, that's on something else. Maybe it's a question of taste. I was just like, wow. Jake can just be so damn shady, it's not even funny. And then, like, Abby is just like, and, like, Cyrus is just kind of shocked, like, what the hell? Then we see Huck meets up with Abby, and he has all of this information, like, because Huck was not going to let it go about that hairpin. He comes to find out that the hairpin was at the Smithsonian. It was actually in the Smithsonian, so it was obviously, pretty much a part of the museum. So how did this pin get attached to her? Then we also find out we also find out is that he actually he hacked Olivia's phone and saw her cell phone activity and saw that she was one of the last people to interact with Quinn the night before she disappeared. So he puts it together and was like, see, what happened was that Quinn found out that Olivia was behind the bombing of Rashad's plane, and she was about to go public with it, so Liv had her killed, which technically really wasn't what happened. But yeah, but as far as like, Olivia having Quinn killed, she didn't want Quinn to die, but Quinn became a bargaining chip, and Olivia lost the bet. So he's mad as hell and was saying that Liv killed Quinn. Liv killed Quinn. Abby was like, she is grieving just like the rest of us. How dare you say that? Get the hell out of here with that. I know you're grieving. I know you're upset, but you're going down the wrong path and you need to let this go. So she literally dismisses him, but then he ends up going to Fitz and pretty much they connect. And he's like, you know that Olivia is not the same person. Ever since she went back to the White House, she has literally become a totally different person. And, he literally came to Fitz thinking that he could actually talk to Olivia, but he said that I already traveled with Olivia. Olivia wants nothing to do with me. And he's like, yeah, I've noticed that she's not the same. So that kind of relieved Huck, like, okay, now I know I'm not crazy, because Abby said he's crazy as hell to be thinking that Olivia could be behind this. But then he says, now I know I'm not crazy. Now I know something ain't right, because this ain't Liv. And obviously since she went back to working for the White House, she's not the same white hat that we used to know. So then we actually get a scene with Cyrus and Gladson. Cyrus goes to Gladson's job because he's like, oh motherfucker, it ain't over. I'm coming to your motherfucking job. And that's exactly what Cyrus did. He went to Gladson's job and he's like, so what the hell? You go to Mount China and then you come back and you just blow me off? What the hell's going on? Because he's like, you need to explain yourself. You just not just going to dump me and not tell me what the hell's going on. So Gladstone pretty much tells him, I did some research when I was in Montana on that guy Charlie that was tormenting me. I come to find out he is a hitman for hire, but even more so, he used to work for you. So you knew this monster, and this was the man that attacked me? Like, really? So he's like, I just realized you're not the good person that I thought you were. And he's like, look, that was a long time ago when he worked for me. This has nothing to do with now. He says it has everything to do with what's going on now. Obviously I thought you were a good person, and I'm actually seeing that you're not. And like Cyrus began, being who Cyrus is, Maleficent all day, began to flip and was like, oh, so you mean to tell me that you have always been an honest person? That you got all of your millions by being honest? You didn't play any shrewd games? You didn't do anything? You didn't, screw people over to get ahead? And he pretty much says that, look, I have instincts. And I always rely on my instincts, and that is what's made me successful. And if I wasn't with a deal, I didn't put my name down on it. And then he was saying that, you know what? And he's saying that, oh, But then Cyrus was like, oh, but you did use a piece of art to get me though. So you pretty much used something of high quality to get me. So he's like, you're messy as fuck too. So don't try to act like you're better than me, because you're just as shrewd as I am. Gladstone pretty much says the main difference between you and me, that if someone were to bribe me with a piece of art, I wouldn't allow it. Yeah, so that shut Cyrus down, because he pretty much said that, so why did you give me the painting? Obviously you was trying to get what you want. So you mean to tell me that you're this honest person, but obviously you used this painting to get me. And he said that, look, the painting is beautiful. And I thought you were beautiful. But unfortunately I found out otherwise. So I was like, man, this is crazy. Because we later on see that Cyrus is looking at the painting, it's hanging up in his office, and we really see that Cyrus really is in love with Gladstone. But Gladstone right now don't want nothing to do with him, because now he see that Charlie was connected to him. Alright, and we pretty much see that throughout this whole episode, Olivia is shooken up, and we see that now that Huck has come to some of his revelations about Olivia being someone involved in Quinn's death, he's looking at that red box ready to do some torturing. But we see that Olivia is actually at Quinn's desk, because Charlie had asked her to write the eulogy for their, ceremony. And she's literally just so out of it that she ends up drinking and gets shitty drunk. And we see that Huck, uses, his moments when he wants to kill, he goes to therapy. So he goes into an AA meeting saying he's an alcoholic, and he speaks in codes, but that actually helps him to calm himself down, because he's looking at that red box, and we all know when he pull out that red box, somebody's going to get fucked up. But he's looking at the box, and it's really troubling him, because Olivia gave him the platform that he's on, and now to avenge Quinn, he may have to rough up Olivia. So we saw that go on. Then we actually see Abby and David. She actually calls David because she's actually at the funeral home with the ashes, and she's so emotionally shaken up that she can't drive home, and she's completely froze. And she said that I was fine until they put the ashes in my hand, and I realized I literally have a dead person that I'm holding in these ashes, that I'm holding in this vase, and I just can't deal with this. And she pretty much tells David, I want a beautiful wedding. I mean, it was like, I want a beautiful funeral. I want flowers on my casket, and I want to look good. And she was saying that, and then she kind of made the gesture that it's just so much better, it's so much better to just have an actual traditional funeral than to get cremated, because at least at a funeral there's a body, just in case. And they was like, in case of what? Either way, the person's dead. They're not coming back, But she's just really shooken up, and he comes to take her home, and David and Abby definitely have reconnected, and it's like their new connection is a lot more deeper than it was before. So, we see that Huck right now is he's in OPA or whatever, and he's doing some work, and then all of a sudden he hears a noise. So he immediately pulls out his gun, because somebody's in the office. He goes and finds, he goes into the office that Quinn had, and he sees that Olivia's there. Olivia's drunk. She's completely out of it, and he's saying that, she's like, I don't know what to say with this eulogy. How do I speak about this? How do I put this in words? And he was saying that we were supposed to protect her. She was a gladiator. She was one of us. We should have protected her. It was our job to protect her. But then she kind of like kisses him, and Huck finally realizes she is just as remorseful as everybody else. She's grieving. So now he sees what Abby's saying. She really is grieving the loss of Quinn. That she didn't maliciously kill her. And, you know, he put everything together, but he knows in the back of his mind, you know, now that Olivia did not do this intentionally. And that she is just as emotionally wrecked with grief as him and Charlie and everybody else. So then we actually see they're playing, Stevie Wonder's, I've Never Dreamed You Leave in Summer. Love that song. I definitely loved it when they played it in Poetic Justice. It's also a song that I'm trying to learn too, so definitely love that track. And they see that Charlie's like Charlie, Quinn, and as well as Abby. Charlie along with Abby, and we see that all of them come together to help Charlie put together the bullets with Quinn's ashes. And we see that Rowan gets his bones back. So I'm just like, man, it just goes to show you that Rowan is a big damn baby. When he don't get his fucking way, he will react. Because now he done got back his bones, but yet he no longer has Olivia. So then we actually see, so then we see that Huck finally joins them to put together the bullets. And then we see that the next day they actually have to get together, because we see Olivia getting ready and Jake drives her there, and they all come up, and she pretty much says that, what can I say about, because she ends up doing the eulogy. They're out in the middle of nowhere. Even David Rosen is there with them. Marcus is there too, and she pretty much says that this is not good. What was done to Quinn was awful. There's nothing good about this at all. I want to find something good to say, but I don't have anything good to say, because she should be here with us. She was about to get married. And then we also find out that, because the name of this episode is Robin, we find early on that Robin was the name of their unborn child. We now know that Quinn was going to have a girl, and they were going to name her Robin. So we see that they load the gun up with all of the bullets, and each of them take a shot. First is Charlie, then Huck, then Marcus, Abby, David Rosen, and then David Rosen said, this will probably us being out here is probably illegal. But he stood there, and then Jake took a shot, and so did Olivia. So they pretty much had, the kind of service that Quinn would have loved. She was a warrior, and she wanted to be remembered as one. So they had like a personal, funeral for her. Then we actually see that back at OPA, they all sitting at the office. Marcus leaves, and I'm thinking Marcus is going to leave. The rest of them were about to get up and disperse, but then he comes back with a bottle of whiskey, saying that, yeah, we need to get drunk, because this has definitely affected all of us in different ways. Then we also see that, because pretty much they had called for Liv to be there, but Abby had called for Liv to be there, and we see that Huck felt some kind of way. But then, when she went to go talk to Huck, she was like, Huck, I thought you let this Olivia crap go. He says, yeah, I did, but if you called her, where is she? Why, she would be here. What's going on? We come to find out Olivia went to go see Fitz. We see that she's emotionally shut up, and she's just out of it. And he's like, I'm here for you, Liv. What do you need? Do you want to sit down? You want to, you want to drink, whatever. What do you want? And she pretty much says, I want just a night. And the next thing you know, they end up getting it on. And I'm like, that's definitely going to be something. So then we actually see, David's on his way home, and when he sees that Charlie's in the car, and he's like, I don't know where to go, because I can't go home, because we put up this playpen, Quinn put it up. She didn't want me to touch it. You know, she put up this playpen, and it's just so much, you know, people send stuff for the baby. I don't want to go home. I don't want to be around it. You know, I don't want to be around any of this. So we see that David, so what happens is that, you know, David takes it upon himself, along with Abby, to go take down the playpen, and when they take it down, they find a chip inside the playpen. So I'm thinking, there may be some more shit that's going to be revealed, because, you know, we knew that Quinn knew that Olivia was behind the bombing of the plane, and if that, and then now that's in the hands of David. So this could bring up some serious criminal charges, if, you know, depending on whatever it is on it, or if that situation, you know, involving, you know, President Rashad is on that, you know, that could definitely bring down Olivia big time. So then we actually see at the last scene, Charlie goes to see Rowan, and he's saying that, look, I'm right now this emotional guy, and I can't stop thinking about Quinn and my unborn child. I need to report back to duty. I need to kill again. I need to focus, because this just hurts too much, and I can't deal with this anymore. This is who Quinn made me. She made me this man who had feelings, who cared, and showed emotion. At first, that was never me. So he's like, I need you to help me. Put me back on. Give me an assignment. Anything. And he pretty much says that, so pretty much Rowan tells him, I think you need to go home and rest and think about what you're going to put yourself into. So all of a sudden he's quiet, and then the next thing you know, he hears a baby crying. And that just sends Charlie over the moon. And Charlie rushes in, sees that there's a baby, and obviously it's a baby girl, and he says, whose baby is that? Whose baby is that? And him and Rowan start fighting, and he literally is like on top of Rowan, choking him. Whose baby is that? Tell me, whose baby is that? And that's where it ended. I'm like, so you mean to tell me that it's a possibility that Quinn actually had the baby before she was murdered, and Rowan pretty much has been keeping care of the baby, and nobody knows that that baby is there, but Charlie finds out. So this is going to be interesting, and you know, this is the last season, so things are really about to turn up. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have those links in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Scandal. So until then, everybody, take care.